to the comic shop. I'll let you read about Cyclops. I'll have you spending all you got. Jawbreakers is looking hot. Zach.
Yo, Big Legit back here, ready to talk to all of you out there about some totally awesome comic books from the 20th century, in particular the early 1990s. And I'm very, very excited for this episode right here because we're going to talk about a comic book I didn't think was cool when I was a kid, but it turns out this issue was totally awesome. Boom, X-O Manowar, number 0. See, now in the 1990s, in the early 90s, during the height of the comic book bubble, if you wanted to hashtag move the needle, all you had to do was put issue number 0 on the cover of your comic book and it would sell like hotcakes. Now this is from Valiant Comics. I was never a big fan of Valiant. I always saw them as like a low-rent version wannabe Image. The only character I thought they had that looked any cool was Bloodshot here. But you know, I just never got into it. I don't think I even owned a Bloodshot comic. It just wasn't worth it to take a chance on a company that just kind of had characters like Archer and Armstrong, Solar Man of the Atom. They all looked just weak. They looked weak. They looked like disposable 70s characters that Marvel would have created to have killed by the end of the first issue they appeared in. But as I was saying, number 0, that's hot. In 1992, that's hot. X-O Manowar came out in August of 92. This has a gorgeous chromium cover. As you can see, you can tell it's chromium. See, you can feel it. It's ridged. It's ribbed for her pleasure. The very first chromium cover was Bloodshot number 1, also from Valiant. So I didn't think that this was, I mean, this is an awesome cover for sure, but I just didn't quite get it. I wasn't that into space-based science fiction when I was a kid. I was much more into Earth-based science fiction, particularly stories about mutants and superheroes. Not just a guy in a powerful suit like, it's like a wannabe Iron Man maybe, at least when I was a kid. But this comic book was actually really awesome. I pulled this out and I read it and it is great. It's a great story. The artwork is by Joe Quesada and Jimmy Palmetto, who I know you love. So let me just kind of take you through this here real quick. Basically, we're on a foreign planet, 10,000 years ago on a planet beyond the boundaries of the Milky Way. This guy with a mask on and weird blue beard face thing. It's basically like there's a bunch of them and they're raising something, and he collects in his hand this yellow goop and puts it in this bucket. And I don't know what this little star thing is, but eventually, what's kind of actually cool about this is that Bob Layton and Jorge Gonzalez, they wrote this, but there's no words, and that's the sign of a good writer. Actually, is can you just tell a story with pictures? That's the sign of a good movie, is if you can mute the sound and you can still understand the story. The writer has done a good job. The director and cinematographer have done a good job. So clearly, this is all going to make sense to us too. This bubble thing is like what they travel in. They come off the bubble. They got the cup with the yellow goo in it. They bring it in here. They got this big fat boy here who also is like one of these blue bearded freaks with the weird helmet on with the single visor. And they put this thing on his chest. And like all of a sudden this crazy stuff happens. Dr. Mirage, this actually kind of looks good to me. I'm not sure what it is. It's not old boy here that's really doing it for me. This guy's tattoos would move around. I can't recall his name at the moment, but that's him, the guy that's tattoos move around. The Second Life of Dr. Mirage sounds like a good comic. I'm not the biggest fan of this art, but this character kind of looks all right, and the name of it is cool to me. So anyway, they put this guy just suddenly starts to turn into, something. We don't know exactly what's going on here, but that's okay. The umbilical cord is still attached to us, the audience, so we haven't lost interest yet. Now we go to Earth, 399 AD, the region of Southern Europe. And it's basically kind of like Conan world here. This blacksmith here has made this sword that he made for his brother, but someday he says he's going to make one for his son, Eric. And he's talking about the sword, and all of a sudden, bad guys, Romans, basically come in and burn down the whole village. They take the big man's wife, and they're gonna, you know, rape her. This is, you know, clearly rape culture. And but stay with me here. Stay with me here as we have this rape culture discussion. Here comes a brave man with a sword to stop these evil Romans from raping his wife. What do? They cut her throat because she's just worthless to them. This is scum right here. This is scum. Roman scum. Dad goes crazy, slices this Roman butcher in two. This comic is Archer and Armstrong. This is a Valiant comic. I was never impressed with it. This is basically the story of two hipsters from Portland. This one is homeless. This one is just pretending to be homeless in his Birkenstocks. And they go on adventures in this stupid hat with the stupid medals and these stupid, you know, pirate pants that he's wearing. I don't know why he's wearing the pirate pants, but that's, you know, the homeless look. It's very popular right now in Portland. And this is where it started. This is where the hipster look started, was Archer and Armstrong. But anyways, back to the story, right? The Roman is not going to have this. His dad, run, Eric, run! And the Roman, he just goes for it. And Dad's head just gets severed off. And this is very reminiscent of Conan, obviously, except we've replaced Mother's head with Father's head. Young Eric picks up the blade, Roman pig, and slices him through in this great little homage to Frank Miller. Roman pigs, I'll kill you all. So, you know, you fast forward 9 years and Eric is growing up and he's just absolutely in love with killing every Roman he can get his hands on. But his uncle doesn't improve. His uncle is Alaric. So, you know, they're going to go find some treasure. And what do? They come across another Roman who's about to kill this slave girl, very sexy slave girl, but, you know, the Catholic priest, you know, yeah, I mean, let's be honest, it's a Catholic priest. She's a pagan, Captain Maricus. She spreads her heathen Celtic beliefs like a plague. This barbarian scourge is God's wrath for you allowing her in our midst. She must die if we are to be cleansed of the Visigoth curse. Master, no. Very well, priest. If it is the will of God, it will be done. Oh, save me. Whatever, who cares? Like, does that say, we're dead is dead? Oh, okay. So Eric, right in the nick of time, kills this dirty Roman, turns to the priest, takes him out, no problem, takes the girl with him, slices her bondage in two. She's no longer bound by these ropes, slices the ropes in two that bind her, and basically takes her with him. You know, you're a damn sight better looking than the women in my camp. Oh, your uncle isn't going to like this either, old friend. You know, I don't know why you don't want this handsome young man to get a lady. Nothing wrong with that. And so basically also kind of a Conan thing where, you know, he gets a hot chick and lays her down. He beds her, knows her in the biblical way. They fall asleep. They have some good drinks, you know, some weeks later. There it is again. Deathmate. This is coming up. Coming up, we're going to review Deathmate. Doesn't this make you... Look at this art. Look at it. Doesn't this make you not give a crap what Deathmate even is? It sure does make me not give a crap. But I went out and bought them anyways, just so we could check them out in adulthood. This image does not move the needle for me, but when you see what Image did for Deathmate, you're gonna fall in love and you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, this looks so cool. Whether it is cool remains to be seen, but we'll talk about that in the future. So basically Eric, you know, like goes back to camp with his buddies and stumbles across these alien monsters from the beginning, have like landed on planet Earth and are basically like having their way with the people, sucking souls out of them or whatnot. Eric, you know, he's not going to put up with this for a second, slices one of them in two, and the other aliens retreat. But one of them like shoots a beam, knocks Eric out, and basically drags the remaining ones to the slave pen, drags Eric to the slave pens aboard their ship. And they just take off into the night. Now imagine this, imagine if you were in Conan world, and out of nowhere, aliens landed. It's kind of a cool concept. Very neat concept, I think. 7 years later. time dilation equivalent. That one with the yellow hair. He's to be transferred to the labor camp on LZ-15. Here we have Eric, you know, the grown man, very much Christ-like in this imagery. Spits in the face of the alien. What a stud. What a man. But the alien basically just forces his mouth open and pours in his green liquid goo that overcomes Eric and, you know, makes him pass out. I'm not exactly sure what the liquid goo is. I don't know if we even care. It's just cool. And here we have, you know, that very similar Christ-like pose again. So he gets taken to the labor camps, right? And you slaves will load these provisions for processing and be quick about it. This doesn't sound like an alien. Let me try again. You slaves will load those provisions for processing and be quick about it. The Armada will soon be departing for Earth. Damn alien tongue, so hard to understand.
It ain't much easier speaking Goth, son. Who are you?
It's Elvis friggin' Presley, baby. This is where the king went to. He was abducted by aliens.
Who I am ain't important, mister. The other prisoners call me the map giver. How is it that you speak my tongue? Picked it up in the slave pants. I've always been a quick study, son. You're just a guy I've been looking for. Lots of spirit. Tough, like I used to be. You might be able to do it. Do what, map giver? Fight your way to their ultimate weapon. Are you game, son? Do you want them dead? You show me the way, map giver. I'll be there. I'll get there.
Some weeks later, in Earth's orbit, November 3rd, 1991. Here we are, modern time, well, almost modern times. This was released in August of 92, so we're going back a year.
It's taken me years, Eric, but I got the entire layout of this mothership down. Those spaghetti heads are gonna launch their attack real soon. You gotta make your move while they're preoccupied, son. Just show me the way, map giver. I won't fail. Ain't got no pencil. Sorry, son. I guess you can't lose my map if it's carved into your palm now, can you?
So basically Elvis like carves the map into his hand.
And warns him the room's heavily guarded, Eric. It won't be easy. When you find it, just pull the ring.
I will not fail, map giver. Many hardskins shall die this day. He refers to the aliens as hardskins, which I think is pretty cool. Sorry, I'm forgetting my voices here.
You, yellow hair, come with me. The first among equals will sustain himself on your juices today.
Oh my goodness, let me just read that line again. It's so great.
You, yellow hair, come with me. The first among equals will sustain himself on your juices today.
Go ahead, son. Save yourself. I won't forget you, old man.
At that moment, outside the Earth's atmosphere, battle stations, the fleet is under attack. And Solar, man of the atom, shows up with his mighty rainbow prism powers. I don't know what his powers are, but it's apparently to shoot rainbow prisms that explode spaceships. So basically all hell breaks loose. Eric, he, you know, takes out one of these aliens, runs, jumps, leaps, makes his way. This is kind of sexy looking, right? Like the X-O Manowar skin is like, I don't know, it's kind of reminds me of a symbiote, right? It's Venom or Carnage. Got that thing going on there. This is number 21. See, this came out like the month before, so there was issue number 20 of X-O Manowar, and then issue number 0 came out to tell us the origin of this cool character. So Eric's running. Eric like runs in here, he finds this suit, the ring. See, the ring. Like the spider alien creatures, the hardskins. They call them the hardskins. They're coming. Takes this X-Men ring, puts it on, and all of a sudden, like the suit just bursts into, you know, symbiotic cords that whip around him and like cover him. They risk making firelight here. This must be a good skin. See, the bad guys are shooting him. Pew, pew, pew. Oh, the map giver said this skin would protect me from their firelight. And it does, and it just like, this is a very good skin. The way to outside is open. Outside is different than I remember. But ho, I want out and the skin carries me there. I hear it whisper to me, obey my commands. This is a very good skin. The hardskin's house makes firelight. It means, you know, their spaceship explodes. I will tear them loose. And he does. He just destroys it. Take me away from the hardskins. I want to go home. the beginning. So boom, this is the origin of X-O Manowar. And it was actually a really great story. Let's talk about who wrote this story again. Bob Layton, Jorge Gonzalez. Beautiful pencils by Joey Quesada. Beautiful inks by Jimmy Palmetto. And then, you know, Bloodshot on the back page. Kind of a weak drawing. Like, the character looks cool, I just don't care for that art style right there. So, ultimately, what I want to recommend to you is that you go check out X-O Manowar #0. Good comic to give to a kid. Got plenty of violence in it. Got a brave soldier standing up for what he believes in. That's how you raise young boys into being strong, upright men. Give them heroes to look up to. And it appears by X-O Manowar #0 that he is indeed a hero kids can look up to. And you get this totally awesome chromium comic book. Paid $3.50 for this back in '92. Today, you can get it for 50 cents at your local comic shop. Maybe $1, depending on your shop. But that's it, man. It's actually a Valiant comic that I liked. And so this is kind of exciting to me. It makes me want to go pick up a couple more issues of X-O Manowar and see if I actually enjoy this story as an adult. See if the rest of it is suitable to give to a kid in my family. So yeah, that's it, man. Valiant Comics, they did right in X-O Manowar #0. Tell me what your favorite Valiant comic book was in the comments below. Tell me what your favorite chromium cover was in the comments below. Please like this video. Please subscribe to the channel. Hit the ding dong for notifications. Cannot wait to get to the next comic book in my long list of awesome comics from the 20th century that help young men grow up to be strong, patriotic men. So, we'll see you next time on the Testosterone Overload. Peace.